For my 25th birthday, I want to trade hair with Sundown.
Well,
yeah, I'm just turning 25. I'm much younger than you and Lupo. Let's get back into the action, though. Saf and Zate moving on the edge of this mountain. And right here, I think, is a perfect sign towards how good this duo is, Ben. They slide all the way across this map. They just used, what, a total of 4 walls to go across this entire area?
Jack, I would have built the Taj Mahal to get across that.
Are you kidding me? I would have been tunneling like it was the late game with 4 people left in the last moving zones. These guys just make it look easy, and now because of it...
Don't do it to him, dude.
He's trying to laser. He's trying to laser.
55 damage on that player rotating in on the glide. They're in the safe zone on the edge of a hill, which is going to be a tough spot for some players. Depending on where the storm goes next, Jack, you're going to see this lobby drop from 49 to, I would say, 25 tops if this goes northeast. It's going to be a tough time for a lot of players unless they have mobility. You're going to see community launch pads and Rift to Go's come out left and right.
I would love for this next zone to go north.
Saf literally beaming players out of the sky. The amount of damage she's dealt makes sure that they're going to stay ahead of that storm surge when it comes time. Gabe and Pokes on the outside over there. Extract the top of your map with his duo still in there. Wow, a lot of players bunkered in next to each other at this point. This end game style gets very interesting, Jack. As players start to stack on top of each other, you run into a situation where if you are not replacing walls, there's almost a guarantee that you're going to get invaded. We see it all the time where players they'll melee out, mine a wall down and replace it with their own material. But on a push, on a rotation, that is not always. It's not always possible. You don't necessarily have the time. So the number of moments where it'll come down to a player from a previous rotation having ownership of a wall already, that can make the difference between an elim and not getting it, because you may not realize that your opponent that you're running away from can edit their way through the wall that's right next to you.
Now, I did just see where this zone is rotating to. We take a look at the map. It looks like it's going to be right on the edge of this mountain.
So far, so good as far as peeling anybody off on an elevation change here for the circle rotation, but we are pushing closer and closer to that Viking village in the southwest corner of the map. If that goes further west, we're going to run into a similar situation from before. See Ifa and Saint, the bottom of your screen. Aspect, one of the best solo players. He absolutely dominated last week.
And down goes Zate. Zate just got beamed out of the sky, so it's going to be Saf all by himself now. Mastoris, who we've seen already have a solid start to today's games for NA East. Saf 4 limbs up to this point. Remember, it was Zate with 12 plus in that game that they placed second. Saf just trying to spray down these players who are moving out of the zone. A 66. There's the 33 to finish off. Prime has.
Even just looking at the feed right now, the number
it's
insane.
It's up the side of this mountain, Ben.
Here we go. 27 players beaming. Nick in the outside of the storm, going to have to go for that elimination to get the HP off the Siphon. Gets another one. The follow-up Saf trying everything he can to stay alive. 30 HP remaining. He's got only 1 mini. Using the pyramids to block his ascent here up the hill. Some dynamite dropping down behind him, but he is not worried at this point. 70 HP and 25 shield, looking for another elimination if he can find one on his ascent up this mountain. This is a tough one for a lot of people, Jack.
Here's the thing, though. Almost exclusively solos left in this game. There's 1 duo remaining, and that is it. So a little bit more of a winnable opportunity than I think most of the other games where there's so many duos left in these final zones. Trying to see exactly which of these teams is the duo. Are they up
all
top?
the top? It's Ifa and Saint at the very top of the map.
My gosh.
Their name showed up for just a second. 1 duo remaining with 11 players is insane. That's actually huge points for every team in here. You have to realize that means 10 teams with 11 players. That's massive.
And what's crazy is you can actually, you're not told, oh, you are top 10. The way you tell is by when you earn the placement points when it pops up. So a smart team, smart players would go, whoa, we just got top 10 placement. Wait, that means that there's only, 10 teams left. There's not many duos still to play. As Saf
are you kidding
somehow gets 2 more as he falls to the low ground. Perfect tilt and Mastoris. 5 total limbs so far. Ifa and Saint continuing to beam on down. Perfect tilt.
With both players in that duo still alive, this is potentially their game to lose if they are in a bad spot. And the only issue they're going to have is carry, and there it is. The baller used to ascend all the way to the top.
Oh, no.
Ifa takes quite a bit of fall damage, putting them in a tough position. They're separated from each other, Jack. They've got to make some solo plays here to make it out alive. Perfect tilt, 4 elims, 5 total for the duo. One more team needs to go down, and they get placement points for making it to top 5. Perfect tilt looking for the edit from underneath, trying to go for the sneaky play on anybody that might be rotating, and he drops in. Speaking of sneaky plays, looks for the hit, still just the 6 there. 4 duos, all solos, Jack.
Perfect tilt, keeping the low ground. It looks like Ifa and Saint did wind up falling and perishing. It was Kerry who challenged him for the high ground, and Perry, who's still alive at the moment. Perfect tilt, still 200 HP, enough materials to work with. Maybe can place down a poison trap here if needed, as things are going to begin to get dicey in these next few moments. Player drops in, and Kerry hits him with the 220. Kerry, what a turnaround this has been. Drops the turret on down to try to stop this dynamite.
Void and Genesis stuck in a 1v1, fighting for the high ground. Genesis takes the opportunity to pop a couple minis. Void is full HP, full shield. As he drops in a 1v1 now versus Kerry, who pays the price down below. 1v1 a top down. Genesis looking for any shot that he can get as he descends in. A little bit of waterfall to stay in the safe zone, but he's ticking. He cannot take any damage to the Storm, Jack. Only 6 HP.
Oh, this is dead. This is
48 down below for Void. Looking for the hit, and Void stuck out of the zone, pays the price, and Genesis with the victory royale and 2 elims to go with it.
6 HP in the end. Only 1 build left, Lupo. But Void on the low ground couldn't match the builds up the side of the mountain to wind up staying within the zone, and unfortunately does die to the zone. Wow, what an incredible moment right there. And you see the builds going up the side of that cliff.
It's almost picturesque.
It really is.
Some of these post-game builds. We had a couple already today where you look at it and there's an entire layer of structure over everything.
Yep. I love that Sundown called it the fossil. Here's the fossil looking back on what happened on that map. So I'm going to steal that and take full credit for it.
Jack, that's an excellent thing that you just thought of.
Thank you so much. So... great. That's 2 things today that Epic that I've now claimed as mine. So.
Beaming dips, goes down to Legion and slots.
And that right there is like what makes late game Fortnite so insane to play in. If you are caught sleeping for a legitimate second, you are punished just like that. They've played now in this map for 15 minutes. He peeked out because he thought he had 1 window. But it's the idea of like there's always there's always bigger fish in the sea, or whatever that saying is. There's always someone out there. That's a perfect example of it. They thought they were the shark, and instead, no, there was an octopus the size of a small building.
Your stomach's got to sink. Imagine making it through an entire match, spending 20 minutes, getting to the top. Let's say you're the 16th duo. You don't have any elims yet, and you peak for a fraction of a second, and immediately get taken out like that.
Yeah.
Gut-wrenching.
Gut-wrenching, to say the least. And something like this even more. People freak out when they get, top 10 in a normal solo game. Imagine winning or competing for $30 million. What that must do to your body.
Jack, I imagine that the easiest way for you to connect it is, imagine if there's only a medium fry available instead of a large.
Jesus Christ.
It's a tough situation. Now you know the pain that some of these players have.
Do they have ketchup?
They don't. They're out.
Oh, lordy lord.
You gonna be okay? All right, folks, I think Courage needs a moment here. Meanwhile, Swev and Power KT, 39 players remaining, 23 duos total. We're getting tissues for Jack. He'll be all right. Don't worry about him. Gonna knock down.
Spray, spray, spray. When I say Gunna gets knocked, and it's like everyone sees blood in the water. Look at
the number of
J-Rob is trying.
Turbo build, like his life depends on it. His teammate's life actually does. Even he's extremely low. And he's still having to build against these attacks. He's not safe yet. His Gunna does get eliminated. It looks like potentially from above as well. Shots going down. J-Rob is eliminated. Swev hanging out on the side, taking every shot he can. Focal and Cluster. No eliminations yet. Top 20.
And this could be one of those moments you talked about, where you play the whole game in hopes for late game.
I'm going to feel real bad in a second here if it happens, Jack. 14 shield and 89 HP. Loadout is not bad, 91 builds, but no mobility minus that redeploy. But they're not high up. There's not going to be an opportunity for anything like that just yet. But Focal does catch 2. Ace and Spade rotating in up a ramp, and They're not fast enough. No reaction to build the wall against that laser from the compact SMG. Redeploy. Potentially saving some fall damage there. No shield remaining. Does have the 2 minis and enough metal to box in. Focal still safe right now. Players above him, players beside him. You've got multiple in the top right corner of the screen with a top down on the next plateau. You have players, Sinna's in the bottom down there trying to build up through the layers, and it's going to be tough for him to get up top. Nova and Rox taking an opportunity to pop a couple minis here if he can. He does have 3 full shields, 199 to the face. That elimination picking up another 50 HP. Jinx going down, another 50.
Oh my gosh. It was just sucker punches, one after the next right there with the shotguns. LiquidGabe and Pokes looking to play for the high ground. And what you're seeing right now is Gabe just landed outside the zone and connected to structures on the high ground that wasn't actually in play yet. He took 20 damage, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I take 20 damage and can build us out on this high ground to potentially win us the high ground for free to help us get maximum points as this game goes on.
These NA East games are absolutely insane. 12 duos remaining, 18 players total, because you've got 6 duos and that's all.
And what you just watched right there was Gabe only having the lowest quality heavy assault rifle to spray down from. Finally pulls back out the boom bow. But yeah, if he had like a legendary assault rifle here, I think he would be even getting so much more damage done. Unfortunately, stuck with that lowest level heavy assault rifle.
It's like a rocket there, dropped one player down from above. Gabe and Pokes, the height advantage, that boom bow into the, that's a common heavy AR, but it doesn't matter. Jack still hits the shots. That first shot accuracy, if you wait for it and time it perfectly, your aim pays off in a big way. He's watching this player ascend, looks for the boom bow shot as soon as there's an opportunity.
Dude, that combo is nasty. Anyone that gets close, he just RPGs to keep them safe so the boom bow can just keep firing. That was cool to see.
Quite a few shotty shells too. The boom bow feeding off the shotgun ammo.
This isn't even
fair.
The
ang goes down.
This isn't even fair right now. It's just, they're just picking people. Whoever they want, whoever exposed themselves for a second. Unfortunately for Pokes, now out of rockets, the spray comes in, Gage goes down just like that. Slurp Juice retrieved. Tragics now dead. Liang now perishes. It's Pokes and Gabe.
Full HP, full shield.
They've got to win this one, right? The other two are even fighting. It's a 2v1 as the pressure will come on in. Pokes and Gabe continuing to spray. You see all these builds are just staying ahead of it, and here comes the challenge. Edit Pump 1.
Looking for number 2 here in just a second.
Edit Pump 2.
Oh, the jump out. He went for the jump 180. A little bit of flare there on the way out.
There it is.
There it is.
11 eliminations for LiquidGabe and Pokes, and the victory royale. A 21-point game. Lupo, monster performance.
With the position